Hey everybody, it's Bill and Cheryl back with Fork Mike Knife. I was reminded recently that we haven't done a video in a while, so I thought today we would talk about salt. Salt is very important to any dish that you make. It makes things taste more like themselves. But there's lots of different kinds of salts. We're going to talk about a bunch of different ones, but they really come in a couple of different categories. The first is baking and cooking salts, and we always use kosher salt. So kosher salt comes in two different kinds. We like Morton's kosher salt or Diamond Crystal. Both are just fine, but really we don't ever buy or use iodine salt. So try and stay away from that. It operates differently. One of the things that's interesting is that different salts are saltier than others. And so learn how salty your salts are and how much of it you want to use. The other important thing when baking or cooking is that it takes time for salt to melt. So when you put salt into whether it be a stew or a soup, you put it in and you can't taste it right away. You're going to need to give it time for it to melt. Otherwise, if you taste it right away, it's not salty enough. You put some more salt in, 10 minutes later, it's too salty. So you want to avoid doing that. The other thing is we've got all these finishing salts here. And so there's the brand of flaky salts, and we have our other flavored finishing salts that are here. As you can see, Cheryl and I like to collect salts and use them for different dishes. The flaky salts, well, here, the first thing about finishing salts is that when your dish is done and you put it on the plate, or let's say a soup, put it in the bowl, that's when you put the salt over the top. Your flaky salts, and we've got two different kinds here of Maldon sea salt. I've got this kind of Maldon sea salt, and one is a little bit more flaky than the other. Maldon is off the coast of UK, very close to France. And it's a great flavored, well, it doesn't have flavor in it, but it has great flavor, finishing salt. So you put that on a dish, and it's got great crunchiness to it. The thing about a finishing salt is it sits on top, so when you put that food in your mouth, that salt is going to hit your tongue right away and give you that salt taste, and then bite into the rest of the dish, as opposed to putting it into your dish and melting that salt. In order to get that salty flavor, you're going to have to use more and more salt. And to be honest, none of us need that much salt. So what else do we have here? We've got our Himalayan sea salt, kind of the pink salt. It looks kind of fun depending on the color of the dish you're putting on. This one is a little bit crazy. It's Hawaiian black sea salt, very thick, very crunchy. We bought this one because we were making homemade pretzels for the kids, and we put the black sea salt on top of the pretzels for the kids. Big crunch, super salty, so be careful with that one. And now we're going to move into the flavors here. We've got truffled sea salt. So if you like that truffle, that earthiness flavor, we like to put this one on a steak. It's come right off the grill. You put it on the plate, put some truffle on it, and it gives it that earthiness. What I've found about this truffle salt specifically is we've had it for a while and it's lost a lot of the truffle flavor that was in there. And so, if you buy a flavored salt and you like it, use it. Don't keep it in the cupboard too long. We've got all kinds of other things here. We've got porcini salt, if you like that. Mushroom flavor, vanilla salt, so a little sweetness, smoked paprika salt. We've got a saffron sea salt. That's a great one on top of, tonight actually we're having roasted cauliflower. We'll put some saffron sea salt on top. We've got lemon zest sea salt, so maybe on top of a soup. We have Outer Banks sea salt. It's interesting, same sea obviously as the Maldon salt, but when they dry it, it doesn't have that same flakiness that you do. So I didn't put it over with the flakes. I put it over here with our flavored salts. We've got some great ones here. This is a Serrano salt, so obviously going to be spicy. We've got dried lemon peppers, a little less spicy than the Serranos, but great finishing salt on top. And I'll finish with these last two. Cheryl made me not too long ago. This is an old fashioned, just a traditional old fashioned, but what we put on the rim here to make it a little bit unique and a little bit different is when we were in Maine recently, we picked up some smoked maple salt. So it's half salt. It's got some smokiness to it. It's got that dried maple flavor. It's going to be great on top of this old fashioned that we'll drink in a few minutes. And then the last thing we've got here is we've got a glass ready for a margarita. This we do a lot. This is it's a compound salt that we've made. It's got just straight up kosher salt in it. It's got cayenne pepper and it's got some chili mixed into it. We're gonna pour our margarita into the glass that already has that rim on it. Have a great day. Cheers, everybody.